Hello and welcome to
Mead in the USA.
I am the Heathen Chips, and this is my associate, Mr. Gray,
Today's mead we will be using honey from Tennessee.
introducing the Appalachian Bee. It's nice, it's dark, it's kind of got a brownish, rich kind of consistency to it, little on the crystallized side, but it is absolutely delicious.
It's sweet, but not overly sweet, kind of how the previous honey we tried was.
Like we said, a little crystallized.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a deeper or almost earthier kind of flavor to it.
And it doesn't have, like some honeys have a little bit of an aftertaste. It doesn't really got that. It's all like forward taste, but there's nothing in the background really.
Yeah. All right, let's get on with making the mead. The Appalachian Bee has about little under an 18% honey or a water content, so it's pretty good. All right, so let's go ahead and mix up our mead, our must.
So I got a question.
Shoot.
How do we go about, because last time we stopped it at about 10%, so there was approximately 5% sweetness. How do you go about back sweetening something?
What a lot of people will do, and there are a number of different ways to do this, so what a lot of people will do is they'll do as much honey they need to get to their particular ABV that they're looking for, their potential ABV, and then they'll flatten it out. They'll bring it all the way up to the 1.0%, so there's no more fermentable sugars in the mixture altogether. And then they'll back sweeten it. We are going to take the other route where we're just putting everything in and stopping it, and that's what the stabilizers are, so that we don't have to back sweeten. With a whole pound worth of honey for a gallon is plenty of sweetness. So I kind of planned it so that we wouldn't have to back sweeten, and the flavors of the honey will be really accented because there's an extra 5% worth of, fermentable sugars in there. So that should bring out as much flavor and texture as the honey would provide generally, as the main feature.
Is there advantages of doing it one way over the other?
Not that I've noticed. It's just difference in techniques.
The way we're doing it requires more attention than the way the other would do it, because you could just let it all. We have to make sure we're paying attention and doing multiple measurements to make sure we stop at 10%.
Yeah.
While the other way, if you aimed at 10% as the max, that's all it can do. You just wait till it stops bubbling, and then you add your desired sweetness afterwards.
Yeah.
So ours takes a little bit more labor intensive, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, pouring into a cylinder, pouring it out.
It's not a whole bunch, but it requires you to pay attention. While the other way, you could literally just leave it alone and we'll come back to it next month.
We're heading actually at about 16%, so that'll bring us up a little bit more on water, and we should be hitting 14%. All right, we're back. So Mr. Gray's question before got me thinking, is there really much of a difference between whether you put all of your sugars in first, front sweetening, or if you go ahead and you cap it out at the end, to whatever ABV you want, and then do back sweetening. So I decided to go ahead and do a test where I did the back sweetening portion. So I took a 1 gallon, only put in 2 pounds worth of honey, hit about 10%, zeroed it out, and we have back sweetened it with 1 more pound worth of honey. Whereas our front sweetening, we put all of our honey in and we stopped it at about 10%. So we're gonna give that a try and see if there's any real difference.
So this is the front sweetening one. This is the one that we've been with the guide in the video we showed it before on how the process we went through. And we're gonna try this one first.
All right. Ooh, that's meaner.
Really, I thought that was smooth. It creeps up in the background.
Yeah. Yeah, once
It
it hits
went
the
down.
center of the
Yeah,
tongue.
it went down really smooth though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good, but it definitely has a bit more flavor than I was expecting.
I'm liking it though.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's overly sweet though.
No.
I think aging, that's just about right where I'd want to hit the mark on a mead. It's good. We got proper honey flavor to it.
Mm-hmm. The I said the back flavor, not back flavoring.
Front
The
sweetening.
aftertaste of it is a little rougher than I was normally aimed for, but at the same time, when the initial flavor that's hitting you is exactly kind of what I would think you would want to aim for. That like you get like a silky smooth part of it. I can't recall when we tasted the honey in this one, but if I had to guess, it was one of the ones that came off really really silky smooth. I can almost recall the honey just from drinking the mead from this one.
I remember saying, I think I commented earlier that it had more earthier kind of tones to it, and I think that's carried through pretty well into the mead. So, all right, so ready to try, and now for the back sweetening. That one's a bit more stringent still. That one's got a little bit more alcohol effervescence to it on the tongue.
Overall, it's not. It's pretty much the same thing, though.
Yeah, they're roughly about the same. Yeah, so I think for this part of this was to see how we were going to progress. So I think from here we're probably just going to continue with doing the back sweetening methods because we've got pretty hectic schedules. So
yeah,
we've got other things to do.
Okay.
So,
well,
all right.
Until next time.